In this episode, I'll be talking about how to play fast and how to play slow and how to understand what you need to be doing, and in the worst games, how to understand that it's so good and how to not get pressured by having like 20k gold deficit even. How to understand that is that you need to look at what you have against what you're playing against, and you need to decide who has the better late game, who has the better scaling, who has the fastest push, who has a slow push, who's gonna hit Rosh fast, who's gonna kill Rosh slow, and all these things, they can be abused. So in this game I am playing against a Medusa, and we have tied TA heroes that are not really good against Dusa. So what I'm gonna be thinking is that I need to slow this Dusa down a little bit, so I decided to pull my team into going on an aggressive lane because Medusa and SD, they can't really do anything against aggro. Then the next thing that I'm already thinking from this minute, like before the creep even started, is that I need to take Medusa's mid tower, because once I do, then I'm gonna have access to the Ancients, and if you cut Ancients from Medusa, then you're gonna have a better chance of winning against her, because Medusa is having like a pretty good game on this one, plus they're gonna have Alacrity for her, and then it's gonna be a tough game to win. After laning stage, after minute 10 to 12, you cannot play on free lanes, and you cannot show on free lanes because someone is gonna die. So in this moment, I felt like I'm playing on a third lane, and then I'm out of spot. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna force this mid fight, and I wanna go and take this mid tower because I have my spells ready. In this game is a Chronosphere, and I'm gonna pull my team into getting this mid tower, because even, let's say, I'm going to take this mid tower, and I even die for it, but I take the tower, it's gonna be worth it, because eventually we're gonna be able to stop Medusa from just sitting here forever and maximizing his game, and this is how we're gonna win this game. This is what I'm thinking about in this moment. So as you can see, I'm gonna be the guy. I will be the guy initiating this move. I'm not gonna wait for my supports to do it. I'm gonna be the guy. Yo guys, it's time for mid tower, let's do it, you know? You need to try and pull your team to do the right thing, even if they don't listen to you. I'm sure if you give them the right energy, it's gonna happen. So I just TP, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this tower. It doesn't matter what's next, I really need to take this tower, because once I do, the game is open up for me. They're TPing, they're trying to defend, they're giving their best, but the tower is already dead, and they all TP'd here, and now Medusa is like, okay, but if I come here, my game is gonna be significantly slower, and I may die even, and there is gonna be a big fight. Void has a chrono, and overall this is like the move that you need to be focused on in every game. And on the opposite side, of course, is about defending this tower if you're a Medusa. And now I wanna change them up. I wanna be able to take the Ancients away from Medusa. I wanna be able to protect my jungle in this moment, because they have no info. When there is no mid tower, they have no info. They don't know what's happening, and what they're doing here is pretty scary. So I'm gonna reinforce my team to come on the bot side, and we try and slowly get away Medusa from our jungle and take their jungle, because this is what matters the most, and this is the most important thing for them. If they cannot protect this, then the game is pretty much over for Medusa, Invo and SD. And as you can see, we're gonna force a fight exactly where we want it to be. Mid tower, no information, they don't know what's happening, so we walk in, and it's pretty much a free fight. And again, I'm saying, under ops, it's so easy to fight. Then we get an Invo kill. Medusa can't really do anything, because this is not a good spot when there is no mid tower and there is no information anywhere on the map. And again, I'm showing you here the next fight that's gonna come up. Again, they're fighting around the mid, and this is where we're forcing the fight as well, and we wanna make our way towards their Ancients. They have no mid tower, and we have a mid tower. So what's gonna happen is they have no protection, they have no information. We're just gonna walk around them, and we're gonna find the fight near this area here, and they're gonna be extremely out of space without protection. And as you can see, I'm gonna skip a bit. It's just so easy to fight when there is no tower, and we have this heal ready, and they cannot really protect it. So we just walk around, we see them again on ops, we're fighting, and it's just so simple. It feels like you don't even need to do anything, to be honest. But now imagine if this tower was alive for 19 minutes, just like ours, then the game is so much different, because we can't really do all these wraparounds, all these free moves, all this warding. It becomes so much harder because you don't know where they're at. It's so important that you quickly understand when you need to be speeding up the game and when you need to be slowing up the game, because those are the crucial things that are gonna decide the pace of the game. And again, I'm saying, in some of the games, I am willing to die to defend the area that I want to be in. So for example, imagine you're playing a Medusa and you want to slow down the game. You should be defending the mid towers and you should be defending your objective. Even if you die for it, it's gonna result into 10 minutes later you free farming. So even if you die even twice, it doesn't matter because you protect what's the most important thing for you. Then 10 minutes later you're gonna be able to win the game. If you don't do that and you decide, oh, I'm gonna farm 2 camps now, and you farm those 2 camps but you lose this objective because you don't know what's the purpose of it and you didn't ask yourself, then you're gonna lose the game. In this replay I'm playing the Medusa this time, and I want to show you what you should not be doing and what should be the focus and the mindset of defending a tier 1. So in this moment they barely started hitting the tier 1, and as you can see we want to force a fight away from the tower. We're fighting in the river on the choke point and we're gonna lose a fight. But what you should be doing when you defend the tower is you want them to hit the tower and you want to hide in those trees, you want to be behind the tower, you want to be ready to defend after they make a mistake, not fight on the river. Never fight on the river, never fight on those choke points where you might die and then nothing matters. What matters is you defend the tower, you sit on it, you sit around it, behind, hiding in trees, finding good spots to just jump them first instead of this, because when you do this it's just so bad, you know? This should not be a thing. So here you see what you shouldn't be doing and how you should be defending this tower. In this moment, after we lost the mid tower, I'm gonna talk about something like after you lose a mid tower, let's say you lose this mid tower, you should still try and attempt to defend your ancients, because this is still a big objective for you, and if you lose the mid tower it's not the end of the world. As long as you still sit on the cliff and you try to wait them to come to you, maybe you deward, maybe you have an ops, and you should be able to defend this ancient, or at least try to, unless there is really no other way around, but most of the games you're gonna have the option to do it. This is the same concept as if you're playing a Radiant and you're on this tower, you need to be, after it dies, you need to be able to protect this side of the map. It's the same logic here. Mid tower dies, you need to be able to protect this side because this is what gives you the gold. And in this moment, even though we died, even though we're losing like 5k gold, I'm gonna try and defend my ancients, and this is gonna give me a lot of farm and not just sit here. So here I'm just gonna run in, try to kill Tiny, protect my ancients. We're on cliff, which is a crucial position. And now they do the opposite. Now they want to be in the river, and this is a place where you should never be. Even though we didn't kill him, we kicked them out. This is the main thing, we kicked them out from this zone. So even though we lost the tower, I'm still getting my farm, and we're still not really in that bad of a spot. I'm still keeping up my game, and I know that if I keep doing this for like 10-15 minutes, there's gonna be an opening for me to win the game. In this moment I'm gonna show you another moment where both teams are doing the wrong thing, and this is something you should not be doing, and I'm gonna explain what you need to be doing in those moments. So here my tier 2 is not yet under any pressure, right? They have no wave, they're not hitting the tower is not gonna fall, so we should be mirroring the map unless we're all 5 ready to defend, tipping here on good spots, and the creeps are hitting. But in this moment nothing is happening, and we decide to fight this instead of farming this, mirroring the map, sitting on our orbs, farming all of this and forcing a TP on both sides, because even though we're losing 5k, we can mirror the map and we can get even gold. We can be in a good spot, and if someone TPs bot, then okay, now we can fight and we can defend top. But 5v5, we don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be tipping top. I don't have anything ready to fight. So look what's gonna happen. We're fighting on tower that's not under any pressure. We're not farming all of these camps. Ancients, camps, waves, nothing is being farmed. Instead, we fight on their spot when the tower is not under any pressure again, and we just die for it. So this should not happen in any game. You see tower, almost full HP. Straight away to the next fight, the same thing is gonna happen, and I'm gonna show you again what you should not be doing and that what you should be focused on. Now again, the tier 2 is not under any pressure. We can pressure mid. This is such a nice pressure if you can get this mid tower. Bot is not pushed. Ancients, we're gonna get them in 5 seconds. Instead, we're gonna go fight on a choke spot for us. And this is what they want. Instead of fighting here, hiding in those trees, we're doing again completely the opposite thing of what you should be doing, especially when I'm playing Medusa. And they're also not doing the right thing, because for 20 minutes after they got an early mid tower, they never really contested my ancients. You know, this is both teams doing the wrong stuff, and this is something that you need to remember in your pubs, where to be on the map and when you need to play against those triangle heroes. So when you're playing a triangle hero, like a Luna, Medusa, TB, even Draw, you like to protect your triangle. If they don't want to take it, you're not in a rush to go and defend those towers. As long as you can pressure bot and maybe you can pressure mid, it's so good. And on the other hand, If you're playing those, this in this case is gyro against a triangle hero, after you take this mid tower, you need to look to take this zone, but don't rush to take this zone. It has to be like a planned move, it has to be a team move, and it has to come maybe from a smoke, and don't just rush in to go one by one, because this is also gonna be bad for you. So in this game, they never really contested my ancients, and even though I'm losing like 11k in gold in this game, I just got my Scuddy, and I'm playing against a worse carry in this moment. I'm not playing against a triangle, which is gonna be an even game, and then I'm gonna come in, and then we're gonna win the game out of 12k deficit, because they never really came to this place. And you not taking care of this against a triangle hero is gonna result into big problems for you. And it's not hard to do it, as you could see, we lost mid tower minute 10. This game is over for them. Like, I've got my Scuddy, I was farming Ancient for like 20 minutes, even though we lost mid tower early. There was no pressure for me, my team was losing in God, but this doesn't matter, and eventually, around minute 6, I just walk in the fight. I bait them to go into this fight because they think they're stronger, and then they just get wiped, and the game is over. And you need to address those things when you play your pubs. You need to address, oh, they have Medusa, oh, they have a Luna, and all these things, and you need to do something about it. Otherwise, this is gonna happen in a lot of the games. So in the games where you feel like your carry has like a worse potential, in the games where you get to play against those triangle heroes, and you feel like the more time passes, the worse it gets for you, you need to try and speed up the game, you need to try and go for objectives, you need to try and push this mid tower, call your team for a smoke, call your team to fight, protect your jungle properly, and then invent the ancients. Don't give them ancients for free the whole game. Then you're gonna be able to win, and then the game is gonna feel like, okay, now we're actually doing something instead of just waiting to lose. And on the opposite side, when you play those like heavy triangle heroes, those late game heroes, you need to be able to defend towers, and you need to help your team defend towers, but don't fight in the river, don't get baited into random fights. What matters for you is to defend your objective. Then the next step is, if you lose this tower, don't be discouraged and just defend your jungle, defend the sides where you want to farm, and don't just back off and try to find free creeps, but you need to be able to defend the zones. Even if you die again, even if you die, this is way more important than one death. Yeah. So in conclusion, if you feel like you're not strong enough, and if you feel like you cannot defend the tower, you cannot defend the racks, do not go into a lost fight, but instead focus on the next objective. Focus on getting your key item, and just wait patiently, because you losing a racks or you losing a tower is not the end of the world, but you need to protect your next objective, and it's gonna be just fine.